control. Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Welcome, everyone. Today we will be talking about another influencer who is very anti-men, very hyper-feminist, and then eventually, of course, comes out getting married to the evil man. At the end of the day, as I've always said, I think this is another way for women who are maybe a little bit older, or maybe they feel like they are less than or whatever. They're just in high competition, high stress, dating marketplaces to kind of get rid of the competition. So the more a woman comes on the internet and says, ladies, younger ladies, hotter ladies, ladies in my area, stop dating, stop looking at them. They're all trash. They're all wrong for you. And then, of course, as soon as they catch one, it's okay for them. So we have seen this time and time again. So let's show you guys the latest one. And she has deleted a lot of her videos. So we're not going to be able to see as much as we could have before. But anyway, so this is, she claims she's a supermodel billionaire or whatever, and she has a podcast called the Man Eater Podcast, where, of course, she gives women advice, the type of advice that would give her probably a better edge in the dating market by telling women to do things that she's done maybe under ill advice from women before her, and the never-ending cycle continues. So anyways, she has deleted a lot of her posts, but she announced that she was getting married kind of out of nowhere. People kind of could tell that she was being taken around by men, like she's in fancy hotel rooms, she's in nice places, she's traveling, whatever. So obviously there is somebody who's with her, who's funding this with her, going places with her, buying her gifts. So, it is what it is. And then at the end of the day, she announces she's getting married. And after her entire Man Eater podcast, which is kind of like another Call Her Daddy, where, she's basically teaching women, you shouldn't be taking them seriously. Don't date them. Don't waste your time with men, or they're all going to lie, cheat, and steal. And, the never ending get everybody to fear relationships, which is what I say is an excellent tactic if you want to lower the amount of competition in the game. So her name is MJ Gray, and she's like a TikToker, whatever. So as I said before, the sisterhood is not real. There can be a small, maybe insignificant percentage of women who form alliances with each other and they're not in competition with each other. Yes, that happens. Real friendships do happen, but do not be fooled. The majority is very much going to be in hyper competition with each other. Women want to get the best mate, the best resources, have the best of the best of the best, right? That is what we are wired to do. Men are wired to get, beautiful women as best as they can afford to take care of, and have families as best as they can afford to take care of. Women are wired to have a guy with the most resources and who's the best looking, right? This is just how we're wired. It is what it is. And when that supply dwindles down, what's going to happen is people are going to start sabotaging each other. When wealthy, attractive, thin women tell other women what to do that would actually lower their market value, it's very clearly, and because when you're in an upper class, right? Like you're around wealth and prestige already. If you're already in the higher tiers of class, it's not going to affect that woman as much as the regular woman who is watching her, right? Trying to get advice. So if you're a regular woman and you're watching someone who's far richer, far more connected, far more attractive, far more, and all the things, and you're taking advice from her, you have to understand that advice is not for you. And that advice can be very detrimental for you to take. So, the sisterhood is not real. Understand that. So get off the internet if you're a woman and you're looking for advice. Don't compare yourself to especially wealthy women. If a wealthy woman can get away with having a hoe phase or whatever it is and then get married to a wealthy guy, that is not for the majority of people. Just like an extremely wealthy, let's say billionaire who's also rich and famous and good looking can have multiple women. That is not for the regular people. That is not for the rest of us. We need to stop watching people who are up here when we know we're down here. We're just regular old people. So you either get fakeness or hate or whatever when you talk about this stuff. And that's fine, and some women will be in the comments, oh, you just don't like women. Or some men will be like, you don't know how the world works or whatever. Who cares? The reality is everything is by design to get people to kind of like be in their place. So, and I know there's a few like maybe like on the spectrum females who don't believe in the social hierarchy. Therefore, they don't submit to the higher status alpha females. And when you don't submit to a higher status alpha female, and God forbid that you're also attractive while doing so, this will get the mean girls to attack you. There's a documentary on it called Mean Girls, I think. So go look at that. So expecting people to be happy for your happiness is mental illness. In a world where happiness is so incredibly rare, where success is so hard to come by, where a good, happy, stable relationship is so seemingly impossible to obtain, do not listen to anyone telling you advice who's in competition with you. All right? The mating crisis has shown us the underlying fragility of friendships as a whole, right? So that's why it isn't simply like attracts like. Sometimes people just make poor choices and end up in bad situations because they're taking advice from the wrong people. So do not try to get along with people or try to understand people who are far below you in the social hierarchy or far above you. You're not the same. You need to find someone who's exactly where you're at, who has done as close to what you want to do as possible. And that's who you're going to take advice from. And it's really hard because they're probably not going to be online. Let's be honest. People who are online probably are more up here or they're way on the bottom because they have like either like the people who have the most time to be online giving advice are people who have made it. Maybe they come from wealth or they've made their wealth already and they have a lot of free time now. Or they're from the bottoms of society. They're getting government assistance. They have a lot of free time to go on the internet and give people fake advice. So you never know. Try to find people in your real life who have done what you want to do and follow that. That is what I did. That is why I am in my own way a little bit successful. It's because I look at people who are on my level. I do not go and look at Hailey Bieber or God knows who's online. I don't know celebrities as much, or whoever the influencer is, whoever this influencer is, whatever her name is. I don't look at people like that who are traveling the world and take advice from them. I don't take advice from former models. I've never been a model. I don't walk in those circles. I don't take advice from like male actors. Like if I was a dude, I would not do that. I take advice from people who are on my level, period. Yes, I have dry lips. Thank you for letting me know. You guys. All right. So let's see. And I also want to talk now about Martha Stewart, is she a good role model? No, she's not a good role model. She's a rich woman who she doesn't need a man because she's so rich. She can just afford different boy toys whenever she wants one. That's not like a regular person. Just like when people go, like, there's nothing wrong with watching really wealthy people as like a kind of glimpse into how the other half lives, or maybe really poor people, if you're wealthy, like just looking to see how the other side lives. But do not take advice from people who are outside of your social class and your age and your mental abilities and your attractiveness. You have to be within that, and then find people who have done well with what they were given. That's the only thing that matters. Now, yes, it's fun to watch Andrew Tate with all his hoes and whatever, and his cars and stuff like that. But it's funny, it's fun, whatever. He's a hilarious person. He's a personality to watch. His advice is utter trash. I mean, there's a few things, of course. Everybody can have like their moments of decent advice sprinkled in with terrible advice. This whole like, you should expect, like a woman to cheat. That is what is causing the divide. We have Call Her Daddy telling women all men are going to cheat on you, so just steal their money and treat them like disposable bodies, because that's what they did to us, right? And then you have the opposite, the Andrew Tates and those people saying, treat women like disposable things because they are just going to steal your money anyways and leave you, right? So all of these are fear tactics. What that does is this Call Her Daddy woman is a wealthy, attractive woman in higher status circles, right? So these rules do not really apply to her. She's always going to land on her feet. She ended up with a good-looking, wealthy dude, right? And then you have Andrew Tate. He says this stuff, but he is so high that he can find women who are like broke and attractive, and they will make that deal with him and be with him. That is not for regular people. Regular people need to stop listening to the extremes. They do not matter. They are not important to us. And the other thing is, let's switch gears. When it comes to posting things on the internet, a big problem that we have is that we have social comparison, and social comparison destroys women and men, because men think, oh, I need to have this car, so I'm going to rent the car because I can't afford it. I'm going to pretend that I'm this. I need to, dress like this, or I need to have all this before I can have a woman and a family. And it warps your mind. And then on the female side, oh, the guy has to give me this or he doesn't love me. He has to take me here or he doesn't love me. He has to give me these, big extravagant gifts so I can post them online, or he doesn't love me. And all of these things warp everybody's perception of reality and relationships and what we are actually supposed to be looking for in each other. So one thing I always say is, if you can get off the internet, that's the biggest flex. If you want to have a YouTube channel or whatever, do something like that, like I do for a hobby, that's fine. But you don't want to have the type of internet presence that is flexing your money, bragging. You don't want to be doing that. Showing off your wealth is like very, very cringe. It attracts a lot of negativity towards you. Anything that resembles like a Call Her Daddy bragging about, having loose morals, I'm going to say that's going to eventually bite you in the ass when you get older, or if you actually want to be with a good person in a relationship. Now, maybe you can get away with it if you're the top 1% woman, you're very attractive, very wealthy, in very high status circles. Maybe you can get away with it. But regular people, you can't get away with it. And you see that because when you see like the comments, people will always like bring you down a notch. They'll be like, oh, no, honey, you can't do that. But then if you are extremely attractive and wealthy, they'll be like, yeah, you can, but only because of this. So just like, don't even bother with those things. Yeah, wanting internet fame is like a sign of mental illness. I don't want internet fame. I'm just here for fun to hang out with you guys. So if nobody sees this, I'm okay. If the 10 of you see it, I'm happy. So anyways, as I was saying, let's talk about, some things that she posted, but she did take them down. So I'm just going to like recap what I wrote as my notes because she took down all of her freaking posts. This chick, she had a thing on don't get pregnant, how it's terrible for you. It's going to make your body explode and deteriorate, that you're not going to be worth it on the the sexual marketplace or whatever. And that is like a fear tactic that women use against other women. Don't have a kid, don't do this, don't do that. But then eventually these women who are telling you not to do it because they're wealthy and attractive and in higher status circles, they're going to end up doing that. And then you're going to look like the fool because you waited until you're too old to do that stuff. And now you can't afford the IVF, the this, the that, all the things you have to do as a non-extremely wealthy woman. So then we have like flaunting wealth to other women. This is not something you want to do. I'm happy if you have a lot of money, and I'm not saying you should be ashamed of it, but I am saying you have to be very, very careful when you do this stuff, especially on the internet. You don't know who's watching. You don't know what kind of monitoring spirits you have around you that are like looking to pounce on you or attack you or take what you have. So I know some influencers from like back when I was working with influencers who they did not come from money, but they were given gifts or a bunch of stuff from being an influencer. You get a bunch of freebies, you get designer stuff sent to you all the time. You go to fancy events, they give you gift bags with like thousands of dollars worth of stuff in it sometimes. And they would show off these things because, first of all, the brand wants you to show it off because that's why they gave it to you. It's kind of like a tit for tat type of thing. So you're doing it for that reason. But then you don't have the security that somebody who really could afford these things has. You don't have like any way to keep it safe. So if you're a regular person, you have something very expensive, as an example, a fancy purse, some jewelry, whatever you got. Now you're a target. They know you don't have any protection. They probably can tell by your Instagram or whatever that you're single, so you live alone. Where the apartment is, you can trace whatever photos you post to the exact location. They can find out where you are. They can steal your stuff. It puts you in a dangerous place, right? You do not want to be bragging. And then if you're like a guy and you're posting your fancy cars, your fancy watches, whatever guys care about, you're going to attract predator females. So these are the type of women that are just looking for a meal ticket. And they're the type of women that have no problem poisoning your food so they can collect some sort of insurance or whatever it needs to be. So everybody needs to be more careful with how you post, what you flaunt. Do not flaunt stuff online. All right. Why do single women creep you out, I assume, when you're in a relationship, but never when you're single? Whatever you are is what you should be around. So if you're single, you should be with single people doing single people things. The second you are no longer single, you should be with people who are also no longer single. That's it. Just, what do you mean? Because it's the challenge. Like, what are you talking about? Nobody gets in a relationship, gets married so they can be constantly challenged. No, you go for peace, hopefully. Hopefully, if you're not a chaotic person, you just want peace and security and to hopefully start a family, do life together, that sort of stuff. But anyways, let's see. Can you guys, oh my God. Anyways, okay, let's see. Let's see some clips. Do any of these clips work? Because I feel like she took everything down. Let's see. Let's hear what she has to say about female friendships. Because, maybe she has something. Let's see. All right. There we go.
Been done so dirty by women. I have horror stories from female friendships that are horrific. And I think we all can say that. We all have had those experiences. But I will tell you right now, continue to fight to have female friendships. I don't care how dirty you've been done in the past. It is not an excuse to not prioritize, absolutely prioritize having women in your life and having female friendships.
Okay, wonderful. So she's basically saying something that we all know. It's hard to have female friendships because they're always in competition with you. I imagine if she really is a model, or if she was a model, she would have more competition and more problems. I have friends who are very attractive models and their lives are very lonely. Let's see what else we got here. Here's another clip. Let's see what she has to say.
Why?
You're going to regret not having children. They don't allow children at resorts that I stay in. Excellent. Yes, wonderful. Okay. So more anti-children propaganda. All right, that's great. Let's see this one. Men are dangerous. Let's see what she has to say.
Rely on women needing protection from men against other men to get women. Women will align themselves with men and even with the patriarchy in order to secure themselves protection against men and the patriarchy. Because the logic is, if I choose a man who is only a little harmful, then he can protect me from the men who are much more harmful. And men know this. So that's why men do not check other men. That's why men do not tackle, men don't protect women by attacking the patriarchy on its face. They protect women by offering security and protection because men are just the way that they are. They rely on men being bad to secure themselves women by being decent. Any woman with half a brain would never align with conservative Republican ideologies. The women who do this do it because they desperately want some kind of protection by other men from the world and from other men. But that's not the way it works. If I'm offering to protect you, if I'm ensuring that the world stays unsafe for you, and in exchange for that,
I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know what she's talking about. Let's see her words of wisdom here. Okay.
The thought of being pregnant is the scariest fucking thing. And it's been that way since I was a little girl.
Yeah.
To me, it's like Alien versus Predator. And I don't know what it is because I feel like women should, but I feel like just evolutionarily, you would think that it would be nonsensical for a woman to feel that way.
Right.
Because the main thing is reproduce, right?
Exactly.
But
yeah.
It is my biggest fear.
Yeah. I feel exactly the same way. And I think more women are waking up to the reality that they also feel that way. I mean, obviously, some women have an incredible experience. I feel like they've ran the most successful marketing campaign for motherhood, just making those creepy things like having the baby like kick your stomach. Everyone's like, oh my God, that's the most magical thing. Maybe for some women it is, and it's like this beautiful moment. But I've also seen women say that it feels like a bag of bees
It kicks the shit out of
swarming
you.
around in there.
Well, think about baby dolls.
And they can bruise your ribs
yeah.
when they kick you, and they can
Mhm.
break your ribs. It's just like a whole thing.
They give us baby dolls when we're still babies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's our toy.
They give you a little car for a boy, and if you're a girl, you get a little baby doll.
Well, little boys get G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
What is that? What can we?
Oh,
what can we
no. Oh, no.
All right. So, I can speak to this. Yes, Minnie Cat did break my rib when she was inside. She did, and it did hurt, but she's still worth it. Who gives a crap? Sometimes you get like, what? You're not going to be in sports because you might sprain your ankle. what, like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't understand this. I think it's just more fear propaganda. It's like, why don't we, instead of like saying men are evil, why don't we just switch the propaganda to, oh, you don't want to work for a company because they don't appreciate you and they don't care if you're sick. And if you get an illness, they'll just replace you with someone else. Why isn't that the propaganda? Why is the propaganda all men are evil, don't get married, children are terrible? Like, I just want people to understand, like, you can have your propaganda go in any way you want, but that's going to equal the society we end up with. So if your propaganda is families are crap, men are crap, children are crap, that's the end of your civilization. I don't know if you don't understand how things work, but that's how it ends. If your propaganda instead is families are great, children are wonderful, you should work to have an intact, happy family for the safety of children and society, that's a good propaganda. I would be on board with that propaganda. But everything, trust me, is propaganda. They're trying to get you to have a specific action, right? They're guiding you towards something like cattle, because we're just cattle to, people, right? So the things that get propagated online, like this type of rhetoric, this is the propaganda that is chosen for us to watch. And it is chosen for us to watch because I think they just kind of want us to be done with so they can replace us with AI or something, which is not going to be very fun. Because let me tell you something, to the people who think they have everything and don't need regular people, it's not as fun to torment an AI as a real person. So like, think about that before you get rid of all of us. Okay, let's see. These girls act like they have it all figured out. So she's married now and her fans are upset. Yes, of course, that's how it works. And then she goes, oh, it's okay for me to get married because I'm doing it. It's a good financial decision for me to do it. I'm getting more than you. So basically, let's translate that. I'm rich and I'm marrying a wealthy man who can give me more of what I want. You shouldn't get married because you're not going to marry a wealthy dude. You're going to marry a regular dude. So it's not in your benefit. So what was the point of her speaking then? How can somebody who is in this like social class talk down to people who are in this social class and tell them what they should and should not do? It doesn't make sense. It's one of the biggest drawbacks of social media. And I think this is turning around because I believe now they're starting to create algorithms. I know like they're doing this on TikTok. And they're trying to create the algorithms that you're going to see people in your own social class only. So this is like a double-edged sword. So if you're only seeing people in your own social class, you're not going to know, or you're not going to be able to reach people at a higher social class. Let's say if you want to sell to higher end clients or get higher end customers for your product or whatever, or service, you're not going to reach them as easily. You're only going to reach people in your own social status if they actually continue doing this. But this could kind of silo people into their own social statuses. So then you'd only see influencers who have your same background and social status, which I don't know what kind of world that's going to lead to. It's going to be very hard to move upward. It's going to be very easy to stay the same or go down though. So I feel like we need to pay attention to the laws that they are trying to pass and recognize that if we are only, there's like a double-edged sword, okay? There's no good, the best situation would be the internet blows up tomorrow and we just go back to having to talk to people face to face. That's the best outcome. That's not going to happen, but let's work it out. Okay. We stay like anybody can reach anybody. The poor people are always going to want to mimic the wealthy people who have more options and can do more things than the rest of us. And then if we mimic their actions, we lower our value so much because they are already up here. So if they lower themselves a hair, Doesn't affect them. So you have to think about that. For example, like, let's say you're a famous actress. Let's say you're Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe can be on Playboy showing her body, and it's not going to affect her status. Now, if you are Becky from down the block, right, and you show your boobs on OF, that's going to affect your status because you are not up here and lowering it just a hair. You are down here and lowering it a lot, right? Because it affects different people in different statuses differently. That's all I'm saying. So if you are a man who has $1 bajillion and you're a known womanizer, it's not going to affect your status as much as you are a regular working class man. If you're a womanizing working class man, women who are of higher caliber don't want anything to do with this guy because he's a flight risk. He's more likely to use up the little funds the family has on other women, on children outside the marriage, on drama, legal fees, on catching cases. You don't want any of that stuff. So when you're watching people, make sure you take into account their status and how much it affects them to do bad behavior, because it's not going to be the same effect it's going to have on regular people. Yes, this is the sadness of the world, I know. But I'll still be fine because I'll just prattle to myself. Yeah, like when Taylor Swift said, like, you know, when she waits to get engaged till her late 30s or whatever, that's not going to affect a billionaire, like literally. She's like a billionaire with fame and she's relatively in shape and she can afford beauty treatments that the average woman cannot afford. It's not going to affect her as much as the regular woman who waits until they're 35, 40 to get married. It's just not. What are you going to do? Life isn't fair. People need to stop thinking it's going to be fair. I don't care what somebody who has more than you does. Like, that's not who you are. Let's focus on what we are. We're just regular. And that's okay. It's cool to be regular. So, anyways, what else did I want to talk about today? Oh, I want to talk about how I was watching this kind of like an elitist podcast. Really, it just popped up and I'm like, let me see what these tech nerds are talking about. And they're basically talking about how they can tell somebody's social economic status and social status and their class basically by their social media, like what they post. And I found it interesting because they do kind of, I see what they're saying. And yes, it does make sense. And as someone who is not like up here, I'm like I'm a little bit of trash. I'm a little bit of nerdy stuff. Yeah. And I'm a little bit of like pretending to be high class because I have like high class background plus low class background. So it's kind of like a mismatch. But one of the things they said that lets people know that you're low class is you use a lot of like the weird filters, like the stuff on you, animated filters. That's one. And I do that shit, especially when it first came out. I'm like, this is hilarious. I thought it was so fun. That's probably like trashy of me, whatever. The next thing is that they use, what is it? They flaunt, like a trashy thing to do, a new money trashy thing to do would be to like show a lot of logos. So if you're showing logos of stuff, it tells these people, like I'm just like a fly on the wall listening to them. It tells them that you are new money or somebody gave it to you, or this is like something very, very rare for you to obtain. So like, to them, it's like a red flag type of person. Like you're too excited about something that shouldn't be exciting as far as they're concerned. So I see that now. Like I see a lot of like my old friends like showing, you know, bags and stuff. And I can tell that's because they didn't have money growing up and they're showing off all their stuff. Like this girl in particular, like we were just looking at this chick. Let me post one of, let's see. Here we go. Look at this. I can tell, and no offense to her, I can tell that she's new money, maybe I don't know if she really is a model, but let's say she became a model, but she did not come from money. So now she's in this higher status, whatever. These things really make her look,
in petty. These are all the things that I got. It's going to be a massive haul. Grab your popcorn. It's a lot. Paco Rabanne. I always wanted a Paco Rabanne bag. And she's so cutesy for like an evening bag. She fits a phone and a wallet perfectly. Chrome hearts.
Yes. So this is the type of content that you see when somebody is very new money or they're an actual influencer being paid. So she's probably grew up with nothing. Now she has something. So this is a specific type of person that you would see online. And that's just, it is what it is. Who is Jack? What are we talking about? Who is Jack? Somebody let me know. Anyways, yes, we can definitely do another armpit hair stream anytime you want. Not for burgers. No, thank you. That's too much for the internet. Anyways, so people like this, don't do this. It is cringy. Thankfully, looking back, I was too broke to ever do this mistake online. Not like I was too broke. Like I did buy designer this or that, but I never posted it. So my laziness has saved me again from looking trashy online. Yay. So remember, be lazy. Don't post anything online. Live your life in the real world. And if you're going to post anything online, that guy that I was on his stream once and everybody in the comments were so mean to me. Like, I'm not going back there. What do you mean? You're going to find me some content? Yes, I need content. Anyways, so some other things that they said were red flags, like that they know somebody is like trashy or broke, is they post either like too much filters where like they're animated filters. And then the other extreme is like no filters at all, plus bad lighting, plus maybe bad video, plus maybe bad audio too. Like just bad quality stuff. Oh, and the other thing about like sectioning everybody off, or they're trying to, at least TikTok, sectioning everybody off into different silos of like economic status and stuff like that, and also location, is that they are no longer going to monetize anyone video who's like low quality. So basically that's how they're getting rid of lower status influencers. That's my conspiracy theory, right? The best way to get rid of lower status influencers is say, if you don't have good lighting, if you have too much cartoony filters, or what else did I just say? Whatever. All of those things. If you, bad lighting, bad audio, bad video quality, all those things, you will not get monetized, even if you get the views, which is like really weird. So it's probably like how they're going to stop lower classes from getting money in the future. That's my conspiracy. Because think about it, if you need to have money to have good lighting, to have good video quality, to have good audio quality, you need to have money to buy stuff to do this. You have to have expendable income. So if you don't have the expendable income, you're going to have lower quality stuff, period. So then it's going to stop upward mobility. Yes. What is this? Let's see if it works for you, because I don't think it's going to work anymore. I do not look like a vampire. I do have low vitamin D, I just found out. So maybe you guys are right. Maybe I should go outside. But you know what? Like, I don't feel like it. I do look very pale. I can get very dark. I know it's hard for you guys to understand this, but I can get extremely dark. I just don't go outside. So Anyways, my daughter was looking at pictures of me in high school and she's like, I didn't know you were a black child. I'm like, yes, I could get very dark. And she's like, oh, wow. I was outside all the time back in my childhood. Now I don't go outside. Anyways, so let's see. Some other things that they said were signs that you're lower class. It's going to be, what is it? Oh, higher class people who post online. They don't post the logos and stuff like that, but they will post very color coordinated, curated types of images. So everything will be like in the same, I think they call it color grading. So like maybe you have like a blue toned social media feed, or maybe it's like a red toned, or maybe like an orange toned. Like there's different tones and they always stick to those tones, or maybe they have the same type of colors in all the photos. Everything is very curated and aestheticals. That usually signals you have more money. And it is true, the girls that I know that come from money and have also married money, they have the most beautiful Instagrams. And I'm always asking them, like, how do you do this? Because I can't focus on one aesthetic. And I think that's because like I'm broke or something. Like I'm half broke. I'm like, middle class, right? So like I think I can't focus on one aesthetic and I keep getting distracted, like ADHD with different, like I want a bright aesthetic and then I want a dark aesthetic and then I want to stop Instagram for a year. Like I don't have whatever that is that makes you stay with that. Okay. So let's see. Yes, this is how my child speaks to me. I just would like you all to know. This is the bully. If you guys think you bully me, you have no idea what I deal with in my own house from the people I made. The bullying is terrible. He actually had no money when I met him, and we lived with my dad and saved money. Yes, we did. And my dad did not charge him a dime. Helped him, all that stuff. So no, he did not have money. When I met him, he was sleeping on a mattress on the floor in the ghetto with some trashy ghetto landlord. I think it was like a prison guard. I mean, there was like the hallway to his apartment was dilapidated. The tiles were like cracked all the way to get to his apartment. There was like one hanging light bulb that was like a green or yellow tint. It was just like any horror movie, like a liminal space hospital horror movie combined. That's where he lived. All right. So I did not marry money. He eventually became successful after we got married, but I married him because I thought he was cute. I'm not saying do as I do. I'm just saying that's what I did. He's very cute. And then looking back on photos, I'm like, I don't know. Like I remember us being like so much cuter than that. We were just very thin. I don't know. Like we were 90s cute. Not like, I don't know if we'd be attractive in this world because he doesn't work out. He never would have worked out. He would have been scrawny. He would probably be like a scrawny, nerdy type, but he was tall. Whatever. A dartboard on the ceiling. Okay. Anyways, I don't know what else I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh, let me go and see something else. I was going to make this a separate thing, but let's talk about it now because you know what? I am behind. So things that make people feel like you are lower class by your social media. Let's go over them again. Filters. Super intense filters or no filters and bad lighting. Like this lighting I have now is pretty kind of bad. Anyways, higher status, you're going to have a cohesive branding, colors and specific lighting and color grading. So you are online if you have to be online, which is kind of low status, but let's say you want to be online, it is with intention. Then we have the new money performative bragging. So leaning on a fancy car, showing off your wealth, showing off designer anything, talking about designer goods, or any sort of luxury haul would go into this category. Old money. These types, they don't show labels. It's implied. If you know, you know. And the ultimate luxury is not having to engage online. Online is seen as, this is like what I learned from this podcast, as seen as poor people wasting their time. And if you have to be online because you're of high status or you have a company or whatever, you hire someone else to post for you, if anything. High agency is the sign of status. So the higher your agency, you don't have to post because you do not rely on posting for anything. Relying on being online to gain attention or wealth is lower status. Keep that in mind. Then you have bios. So any sort of emoji on a bio is bad. So I have to go look at my bios. It's probably super trash. Any quote in your bio is also trashy. So I got to look at that because I don't know. Maybe I put a quote. You want your bio to be mysterious. Anything that looks desperate, join my course. This is what I do, blah, blah, blah. Like you're begging for attention or whatever, or for someone to do something to close some sort of deal. That is seen as low status. Okay. The next is oversharing is very low status. So saying too much or oversharing, bad because there's no mystery. People shouldn't know about you, I guess. All right. So high status online would be like when Kanye posts once a year when he has like a new product drop and then deletes everything while maintaining like 50 million followers or whatever. That's like the highest status online. But I think above that would be like Brad Pitt, who doesn't even have like any social media because he's like one above that. So let's see. Below like a Kanye would be like you have the very curated aesthetic post, but you're not trying to sell anything. You're just like a brand. Okay. But you have to have somebody posting for you and editing to keep your consistency of style. The more relatable your content, apparently, the lower your status. So we're screwed. All right. Higher status, seek out educational self-improvement content. Lower status will seek out materialism. Yep. Celebrity gossip, entertainment, and pop culture. Interesting. Once the platform gets oversaturated with regular people, the elites and higher status move to another more exclusive platform. And Instagram has reached oversaturation. So that's why a lot of the higher status influencers are starting to leave or post less and go find greener pastures. So dating apps, if you want to go status hierarchy and dating apps, this was very interesting. So the lowest status on the dating apps would probably be Tinder. I don't know the difference between any of these, so you guys tell me. It's going to be Tinder. It's going to be Hinge. And then it's going to be Raya. And then the highest is I met them in person. That's going to be your highest status people. Oh, and they're saying that they can tell by just your photos, like on a dating profile or like a LinkedIn, I don't have that stuff, or whatever, they can tell your social class immediately. And there is a type, like you guys have seen the, there's a certain caliber of girls, they'll post them in a bikini, them in a yacht, them with a designer bag, them at fancy brunches. And that's usually like a girl, a lady of the night, if you will. And then the elites are moving towards micro social media groups that are invite only and in-person meetups, of course. Oh, and then the status hierarchies for AI is ChatGPT is like for the masses. It's your basic one. Claude is seen as for the elites. And Gemini is seen as super low class. Like you probably have an Android phone or something like that. This is what they said, not me. Don't attack the messenger. Anyways, and as far as short form social media, so like, you know, the clips ones, like the vertical ones where you scroll, TikTok is seen as the highest because it pushes the most thoughtful post to get the most engagement. And now they're focusing on good lighting, good editing, how you speak. So like you have to speak well now to get paid as a TikTok influencer and command attention, right? And reels are seen as mid of the row. So it's a mix of slop and curated high-end content. And then shorts on YouTube is the lowest form with a lot of AI slop and a lot of unrelated videos and a lot of unaesthetic videos that fall into your algorithm easily because the algorithm really sucks on those, I guess. And it says anyone who gets stuck on shorts has poor time management and is very poor. Okay, so let's see. And like I said before, TikTok moved away from just letting anybody, you know, who got a lot of views, who had an interesting post get paid to now you have to, you know, have good lighting, good video quality, good content, good speaking. And they're trying to get rid of as much slop, AI slop, I guess, and lower tier content. So it's going to price out anyone who is low quality lighting, low quality, you know, editing and whatever. And probably me because I can't speak well. So there you go. And apparently platforms know not only your income, how much you spend, what you buy, where you buy it, what you're interested in, your zip code, how much your home is worth, whether you're renting or owning. They know everything. And now they're going to start funneling you into little boxes with people like you. So that's going to be freaking crazy because it's going to be like everybody's in an even bigger silo than before, because now you're not going to be like, let's say you're like a crazy liberal and you're just like, we need to open the borders and let every criminal from every country in or whatever. Let's say you're like that, or that's your ideology, whatever ideology you want to call that. You're only going to be showing people in your socioeconomic bracket with those ideas. How crazy is that going to be? Sorry. And how is that going to make the world going forward look like? Insane. Anyways. Yes. So dating apps, 100% agree. Thank God I didn't need a dating app. It was like invented after I was married. But I did find my husband on MySpace, which is technically a pseudo dating app. But the good thing about that is you can enter your zip code, everything you wanted, and then like some people would pop up. And he was the first one who popped up and the only one I messaged. And there you go. But trust me, I dated a lot of people. Well, first dates, tons of first dates. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any relationship with his children. That's what I heard. I don't know. Thank you. Yes, that's what I'm going for. I'm just making things up. I wouldn't say that I was athletic. I don't know. We were just very skinny when we met. So we were like two sticks trying to make a fire, you know, two really skinny people. No, okay. I personally, like, I want to be really honest. I don't care if you're fat or thin, as long as you're really nice to me. Like, I really don't care. And I dated overweight people and they were very mean. Like, they get really mean because they have like a lot of insecurity. It doesn't help that all of their friends make fun of them for dating a skinny person, like brutally. And I can see how that can get to your head and make you act out. and make you want to like cheat with like an overweight person to kind of like feel normal. I mean, it's got to be hard. Look, it's got to be hard. Everything is hard. There's no easy ways. I have never been to Palm Beach. All right. Okay, fasting. Yes, thank you for asking. I appreciate you. I have been fasting. Look. Yes, I have some chins, but not as much as before. And you can see my old videos. There was way more chins. So look at that. Look, you almost can see like my goal is to have, you know, like that little dip thing. If I could someday get that back, I'm be happy. Anyways, I was walking with Minnie Cat and my husband one night, and he was looking at us and he's like, wow, I have two teenagers now. And then he's like, look, you got your jawline back. And I looked at him like, mother, like, don't mention that. Like, I know, but like, you don't have to say it out loud. Don't freaking say that I just got my jaw back. It was gone for a while though. It was gone for, you know what? I think like on one side it's better than the other. It is what it is. Anyways, so I highly recommend fasting. I feel so good. I know it's hard to look. Let's be brutally honest. When I was fasting, I was attacking everybody. I couldn't handle any stress. We were supposed to get, like, my mom sent Minnie Cat and I an ice cream maker thing. It's like this something called a creamy, whatever. It like looks like soft serve, whatever. We ordered it from Target. Target sent us a lamp instead of this $300 machine. And I lost my mind because I have no stress tolerance when I'm not eating. Like, I cannot handle any sort of stress or disappointments. I am screaming at people. The AI chatbot I'm trying to explain this to is like telling me that they're going to block me for like cursing because I said WTF to them. WTF isn't cursing. I'm sorry. WTF is a very calm thing for somebody who is fasting to say. Come on. Anyways, so I was losing my mind. I think I got like I'm screaming and yelling and my husband's trying to calm me down. Then I get like a text or like, you know what, a notification from Discord that like Teriak is doing some video and, you know, like we have beef. So then I see that I'm like, and then like I start screaming and he starts cracking up. He's like laughing at my pain because I can't handle any sort of stress when I'm fasting. Yeah, look, they did screw up my order and this is true. Like I ended up not getting it because like I can't trust Target anymore. I will not shop at Target. I will not order something from Target because I didn't realize it was that easy to scam you. And then they have like this rule, like if you say things, you know, like whatever, like there's X amount of money and then like they'll ban you from ordering anyways. And I know Amazon does that. Like but Amazon has never given me the wrong thing, right? Target has given me the complete wrong item. And it looks like it came from there because we went to like the FedEx place or the UPS, whichever one. And we talked to them and they're like, no, we don't weigh the boxes because it's like a tiny little few ounce cheap lamp that they replaced it with and they just threw it in there. As opposed to like a big heavy thing. And they're like, no, we do not weigh it. So this happened at Target. The Target employees switched it out with this lamp. So, yes, I was pissed. And I don't know if this happened like a while ago. And I don't know if my mom got the money back from that. And she was just like, you know what, let it go. There's no need about screaming about it. I'm like, it's $300, which is a lot to me. But apparently it's not worth screaming over. But I will continue to freak out. But I will never go to Target again. I have like trauma from Target now. And there you go. So, yeah. Be prepared to get grumpy if you're going to fast. But after you start eating, you're not going to be as hungry. You're not going to eat the bad things. You're going to have like a higher tolerance for like going between meals without eating. and it's going to be easier. And I noted, oh my gosh, there's this like, what do you want to call her? Skinny influencer. She's like a motivational speaker. If you want to lose weight, okay, like that type of motivate. So whenever I go on TikTok, it just says, she just goes, fat, you're fat. Are you hungry or are you bored? Are you hungry or should you be cleaning your room? Are you hungry or do you need to go for a walk? Are you hungry or do you need to go to bed early? Like all these things. And it's like every time you go on the app like that, she's like one of the first people that pops up. And it's like, yes, I am not hungry. I'm not. I'm just bored. I'm stressed. I'm cranky. I probably just need to take a bath. And I have so much on my body that like my body can eat. We do not need to go out there for more calories. I am not starving to death. Trust. So anyways, if you are like me and you have some weight, I looked up what I was supposed to like in the 90s, what the ideal weight for someone who doesn't really work out. Let's be honest, I'm not working out. Who doesn't really work out and who's my height. And guess what the ideal weight is? 93 pounds. 93 pounds. 93 pounds. I'm 119, which is good for me because I was like 133 or something like that. So I'm 119. So if like 119 to 93 pounds is quite the ways away. Now, I don't know if I want to get to 93 pounds. It's 93.4 if you want to be technical. And that's how much I would have to weigh to be quote unquote healthy in Japan. So I remember 98 pounds. I was looking amazing. So I think I want to be 98 pounds if at all possible. I don't know. We'll see what we could do. But I was also working out a lot to be 98 pounds. I was in track. I was in weight training. And I think I was doing, I don't know, I was doing like a lot of pull-ups and stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't know if I'll ever be 93, but 98 sounds to me as like perfect. Because I would still keep a shape. Because I don't want to have like no shape. Yeah, well, look, I'm 5 feet tall. I'm not a tall person. I'm very tiny. Like if you look at me, I look like a 12-year-old's height. Like when I'm at middle schools, I look like a student until you see like, oh, I'm old and shit. But like the height and stuff. And from the back, you're like, oh, that's like a little kid. And then you turn around, it's like, oh, it's an old lady that's just very tiny. So definitely you want to like consider your weights, consider your activity levels and stuff like that. And again, you know, this is not medical advice, but people were never this overweight as they are now because we're just so used to food. And I feel like because everybody's so bored and depressed, we eat more. We look forward to food more because we're not hanging out with friends as much. So it's like, you could be excited to see your friends, but if you don't have anyone to hang out with because everybody's on their phones, you know, you eat and you watch stupid shows, which I hate watching shows. It's the other thing. I don't watch television at all. Yes, ask her. Anyways, so the goal is 98. I'm 119. That is a ways away. So I'm going to try fasting again. I'm going to do it. Oh, also, I forgot to tell you guys, I did a parasite cleanse. So my doctor gave me ivermectin, the controversial parasite cleanse. And I'm thinking it's going to be like when you take those natural anti-parasitic herbs where like I feel like I'm shot. I'm like throwing up. I have a migraine. I feel terrible because it's basically like a poison. But when I took ivermectin, I had no symptoms, nothing. It was kind of relaxing and nice. It was good. And, I feel lighter. I feel like it might have done something. I don't know. I don't look like I know, like some of you people might take an antiparasitic and go check and see what's up, but I'm not interested in that. I don't want to see. I don't want to know. Like I did it. I took the thing. And yeah. Appreciate you for saying that, but like I could use a little bit less. Anyways, the next one, and I did this on the full moon. You're supposed to do antiparasitics on the full moon. So the next full moon, I'm going to take another antiparasitic they gave me, and this one kills liver flukes, which I am sure I have some liver flukes. It's very common in the US, unfortunately, and I feel like that's a lot of the driver for a lot of the problems people have, like autoimmune conditions. Like the liver is so important. Anytime you're stressed, you weaken your liver, and then parasites can more easily get in there. Anyways, so I'm going to do that next full moon, maybe fast, at least for 24 hours during that. See what happens. Look up what a liver fluke is. You'll see. They look like tomato skins in the toilet. If you ever look and you're like, I didn't eat tomatoes, I didn't eat anything red, and you see like this little, like a little flake of tomato skin, that's a liver fluke. Very bad. Very bad. Don't have them. They're not good for you. Get them out your body. The other thing that I'm doing is I found out many people, and myself included, are very sensitive to nickel. So I am switching up the pots and pans. Well, I just got 2, like 1 pot, 1 pan. Like, I don't know. That's all I really use. With, I think it's like carbon steel. So it's like low to no nickel or something. So that's what I'm using now. And my silverware, I got 1 real sterling silver solid fork and knife and spoon. And that's what I use. It's like just for me, because the other thing, like I realize I'm very sensitive to tomatoes and nightshade and stuff like that, but it could also be like tomatoes are very acidic. So if you cook in like a regular pot or pan and you have a nickel sensitivity, it's going to like extract more nickel, put it into your food, and then you're going to eat that and get more symptoms. A lot of autoimmune conditions, a lot of eczema, a lot of inflammation, stuff like that can happen. So I'm just like, I wish I could do cast iron, but I have like a, the glass top cook thing. We don't have gas anything here. So, in glass cookware, I don't know. Like I have one, but I'm afraid to use it, at least at high heat. I'll make soup with it because I feel like that could be okay. But like, I don't want to like cook with that. Not quite there yet. But the carbon steel, it works. It's no problem. And I use like the old Pyrex glass things and put stuff in the oven. So I do that. I have seen a big difference from getting rid of a lot of the nickel that I've been using. I threw away all my like costume jewelry, the cheap stuff, whatever. I threw that away. And I was realizing that your skin's not supposed to turn black when you have jewelry on. So you should have real jewelry. If you're going to wear jewelry, just make it real jewelry. And they have, like, if you want like a cheaper option, you can get sterling silver plated in gold. So that way it's going to be less nickel and not as expensive as like solid gold or platinum. Platinum, I think, has the least amount. So, there's options for you. I have 1 platinum necklace that my dad gave me. I never got any irritation from that. And now I'm starting to realize why. And yeah, so I do eat through the gold. So if it's gold plated, it's not very long before I eat through that thing. Let's see. The other thing that I started doing is, I found out like just as I started doing my nails, and I know like, oh my God, I have an old hand. Yes. Look at my old wrinkly hand. I was born with old hands. I think it's like a connective tissue disorder or whatever. Like you have like these old wrinkly type hands. But anyways, so I went from never doing my nails ever. Then when my thyroid started acting up, like my nails got more brittle. So I tried to paint them. And then I found out the new nail varnish stuff makes your nails more brittle and peel. So like you don't want that. So then I went and I got gel nails, and I know, oh my God, that's so toxic, blah, 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 blah. But they were finally able to grow with the gel nails. So then I got used to it. And just as I got used to it, and I'm like, I learned how to do it myself. I bought all the stuff. Now they're saying that nails are trashy because they're too accessible to regular people. But because, wealthy people can afford to be super healthy, that they have amazing nail quality because they don't have to eat the garbage we eat with all the toxins and the pesticides and whatever. They get strong nails. So they're just going to like wear nothing and have beautiful nails. So it is what it is. What are you going to do? Yeah. So I am thinking about getting real jewelry from now on. Congrats on having good, strong nails. That is a sign of health. So good for you being healthy. I also found out afterwards, after I started getting the gel nails, that one of the reasons that my nails could have been getting really weak is because I started taking Epsom salt baths every night, and soaking in a very hot tub ruins your nails. I didn't know that because there's no class on this in school. Like, who's going to tell me you shouldn't wet your nails or they'll start peeling? I didn't know. Anyways, but I do like my Epsom salt hot baths every night. So I'm just going to have to, I try to like keep my hands out of the tub from now on and see what goes on. Anyways, I hope everybody has a lovely rest of your day. And remember, don't trust influencers online. They are just talking out of their butt cheeks, trying to be controversial, get attention. And just because somebody can get away with doing something doesn't mean we can get away with it. Anyways, join the Discord if you have not joined the Discord. And if you have anything you would like to talk about or hang out and post something or send me memes or whatever it is, or if there's a video you want me to react to, you can let me know in the Discord. I would love to hang out and see that. Yes, I like to make cringy AI videos. Yes, thank you. Some of them are more cringe because some of them are supposed to be cringe, to be honest. I purposely like a little cringe every now and then, especially like the super cheesy ones. Like, I did not go and say Nazi aliens and think this is going to be like an epic ballad. I did not have that intention. I was like, how do I make the most ridiculous nonsense ever? And that's what I did. I'm very proud of it. Now, there are some stuff that I think are like better. Do I have like a new song? Let me see. Let me see if I can find a new song that I did. Let's see if it's not super cringe. Pretty sure they're all cringe to you guys, but let's see. Okay. Ah, yes. This one was super cringy. This is a new one that I did. Okay, let's see. How do I share this? Let's listen to like a few minutes of it. And you guys let me know if I should make a cheesy AI video. Because I will do that. I will make a cheesy AI video.
subjugate our spirits, a relentless tide. Eviscerate lineages, obliterate hamlets in their stride. They decree autonomy's illusion, a solitary quest. Yet coalescing shadowed cables, their alliances unconfessed. They told us we had to make it alone, all by our lonesome selves, when they always help each other, stacking gold on secret shelves. They said, move away from your kin, chase that dream so bright, while generations haunt their halls in their family home at night. Fractured, vanquished, when machinations they devise, indoctrinated, surveilled, and snared in their guise. They peddle selfishness like candy. Me first, forget the rest. Turn us into lone rangers, failing every test. Cut ties, climb ladders, leave your pack behind. But elites got their dynasties, bloodlines intertwined. We're scrolling through our feeds, isolated in our screens, while they plot in private jets, living out their schemes. They told us we had to make it alone, all by our lonesome selves, when they always help each other, stacking gold on secret shelves. They said, move away from your kin, chase that dream so bright, while generations haunt their halls in their family home at night. Fractured, vanquished, with machinations they devise, indoctrinated, surveilled, and snared in their guises. Lone wolves are easy to destroy, just a snap and you're gone. But it's the packs you gotta watch out for, howling till the dawn. They made us greedy hermits, chasing shiny lies. Now we're sitting in our boxes, eating take-off fries. Funny how we're independent, broken all alone, while they laugh in their ivory towers, throwing us a bone. They rig the game with acid buzz, connect but stay apart. Turn friends into followers, breaking every heart. Be your own boss, they cheer as empires crumble down, but their kids inherit kingdoms, wearing daddy's crown. We're zombies in the matrix, plugged in and unaware. Elites pulling strings like puppets with a devilish flair. They told us we had.
Anyways, as you can see, that's the gist of that. Okay, let's answer this question. Oh my god. How come you didn't help the other overweight men you dated before you found it? Kind of selfish. Yes. Why didn't I help them? I tried, but it just so happens that people are addicted to their habits and they don't care. So they're not going to listen. Steve and I were both very thin and we were very similar. So like we didn't have to change each other. And I kind of feel like you shouldn't go into a relationship trying to change the other person, because that's not going to work and that'll blow up in your face, chances are. So yeah, I did not try hard enough to change him. Actually, you know what? I will tell a story about the overweight dude that I dated for, I think, like 6 years. So he wanted to be what was it? He wanted to be a singer in a band, right? This was like back when like bands were like all the rage and everyone was going to concerts and people like dreamed big and all that stuff. I was very practical. I'm like, I didn't want to say mean things, but I wanted him to be like realistic. And I'm like, okay, look, let's be realistic. The band makes you sing. Do you know how to sing? Are you in tune? No. Does your voice crack horribly and painfully to listen to? Yes. Are all your friends gaslighting you that you're really good at this? Also, yes. Let's see what else. Do you have a very strong lisp that is like hissing in your ears when you listen to the song? Yes. So are your friends or any of the band members good at any other instruments? No. So I was like not trying to say this to him because I don't want to crush him and hurt his dreams or whatever. But I'm like, why don't you just go to school for something like, I don't know, like you can be a music teacher. And like, if the band thing doesn't work, you have something to fall back on. That was all I said. I was just trying to be realistic. You know, I gave up on, why don't we, you know, do like swimming classes, or why don't we like go to the gym? I gave up on that stuff. I'm just like, how about you just like not go all into this music band thing? Anyways, eventually all his bandmates who studied real things got real jobs and real families, and he ended up not doing that. And when the band didn't work, he was kind of like out of luck. So then he decided to like go into extreme amounts of debt to go to a recording artist school to learn basically one program that now AI can do all of that program's work in one click. And he spent years and like $100,000 or $200,000 to do this program. And in the end, he's never been able to buy a home. He's never been able to pay off his student debt. He's never been able to even own a car, have credit, or anything like that since this happened. And I'm not like trying to be like mean or anything. I was just trying to tell him, you know, this is the reality of life. Like it's great to have dreams. That's beautiful. I love that for you. There's nothing wrong with working on your dreams while you're working on like, you know, a solid future. You could do both, but no, he didn't want to. And yeah, there you go. Life doesn't work out all the time. So yeah, that is why, like, yes, people do try to help other people. They do, but you can't help people. And when you grow up, you realize it's not your job to teach people how to grow up. They got to figure it out. But I was like, what, 16? When I was like, who cares? You know, like we were dumb kids. He just got married. I heard he just got married from his other ex-girlfriend, who's one of my best friends. It's like, yeah, he just got married. Like, we're like, okay, finally, we don't have to worry about him. So, you know, it happens. We wished, because, you know, like after I got with Steve, like I still like cared about him. And I'm like, I hooked him up with one of my good friends who's beautiful redhead, blue eyes, gorgeous. And, you know, he blew that one too. Wonder of wonders. But he finally got his shit together, like at almost 50 years old, and he got married. So it takes some of us longer than others to realize how life really is. But anyways, who married for money? My God. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out. I know like I ramble and I talk a lot of shit, but whatever. Have a great day and join the Discord, and I'll see you guys next time. And I'm going to start doing this again. So give me a chance to think up more ideas and to put my ideas together better. Bye.